Hello, lovelies. Welcome back from doing the leg of your sock. We are here. It's a different day. We have done a costume change. It's now much warmer than it was last week.
Maryland weather isn't real.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, it's like different every 20 minutes.
Yeah,
so they say.
Made up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we're ready to do our heel. And on our itty bitty sock here, Sari and I each have 32 stitches.
Yes.
We are going to be doing a Dutch heel. So that means we'll have a heel flap and then a turn. And then we'll pick up gusset stitches, pick up stitches along the gusset, which is the side of the heel flap. And then we'll do decreases, and then we'll knit out a foot and finish with our toe. Today we're gonna work on our heel. So you're gonna have half of your total number of stitches on your heel flap. So since we have 32 stitches total, we are each doing a heel flap with 16 stitches.
So I just put all of the 16 onto 1 DPN rather than 2, so I don't have to deal with the fiddling.
Makes it easier. We recommend that you make it easier for you too. Okay, so for our heel flap, you want to do our heel flap on the wrong side, so you don't have a weird extra half row when you're finishing up your turn, your heel turn. I like to do a garter ridge, like a garter border on either side of my heel flap. One, I think it looks really pretty, and then two, it makes it really easy to pick up stitches at the end.
I like making things easy.
Yes, we like easy. So we're gonna start on the wrong side row of your heel flap, and also we're gonna be doing 16 rows on our heel flap because our heel flap is 16 stitches across. If you have 64 stitches on your sock, your heel flap will be 32, and you will have 32 rows of heel flap. You can mark when you're finished with every row, or
one of those clicky bobbers.
You have a row counter, or you can count the garter ridges, like the pearl bump ridges. When you're done, if you have 16 rows on your flap, you'll have 8 garter ridges on either side of your flap. And if you've got 32 stitches on your heel flap, you'll have 16.
It's like do math.
It's like magic. Okay, so wrong side row, we're gonna knit 3 and then purl all the way across. And this is the same for every wrong size row of your flap. So then the right side of your heel flap looks like this. We've got
knit so fast.
practice. So then we've got 3
Or is it that I knit really slow?
3 bumps. I think I just knit fast. So there's 3 bumps here, and then the rest is knitted across. So then on our right side row, she'll get there, and you'll get there. Take your time. You don't have to be the speedy McSpeederton like I am. Okay.
Okay, I'm there.
All right, on right side row, we're gonna purl the first 3 stitches.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it's just my yarn. My yarn was tangled around all my knitting needles.
Gotcha. It happens. But you look like a knitting wizard. Hold your hands up so people can see. Like, look, knitting wizard. Or wizardess, knitting witch.
I feel like it's kind of a gender neutral term.
I feel like that too. Knitting wizard. I like it. Okay, so we've got purl 3, and then we're going to knit 1, slip 1 across the row. Now when we slip 1, you are going to slip.
Are we slipping knitwise? Or purlwise? Or does it not matter?
I don't know that it really matters. If you slip knitwise, it'll twist the stitch, and in this case we're doing a knit slip on one row and then like a plain knit row on the next. And I think this pattern is called the Eye of Pigeon. I think that's what it's called. For the Eye of Pigeon heel flaps, it's an Eye of Pigeon slip stitch pattern. I think that's what it's called. Right. And then the stitch pattern is called Eye of Pigeon. And it just makes it extra smushy to give a little more cushion on the back of your heel where your heel will rub against the edge of your shoe.
That makes sense. I just don't get why it's called Eye of Pigeon.
Because I think it looks like little eyes or something as you go across. I don't know. That's what it's called.
Maybe it's like the pigeon in Finding Dory.
I've done knit slip for this heel flap with the stitches slipped knitwise, and I've done them purlwise, and I can't tell the difference.
I'm just slipping knitwise because
I think it's easier. It's faster. I don't know that it makes a big difference. You do what feels right to you. Probably knitwise, because instead of then you go back on the purl row and you gotta purl these. So you want to do knit one, slip one until you have 3 stitches left.
Oh, good. You stopped me just in time.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I realized I purl slow. I knit just normal speed.
That's interesting. I bet there's a lot of people who are like that because purling is a weird action.
I also wonder if it's because I knit continental.
Probably, and the movement to purl continental is
kind of
it's awkward.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna do knit one, slip one to the last 3 stitches, and you're gonna knit the last 3. So, and then we've got then just a plain 1, 2, and a 3, like the Tootsie Roll album. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's it. 2 rows done. Okay, yay! So we're gonna keep going until A, your heel flap is to your desired length. So that would be from like the I guess about approximately a mid ankle bone to the bottom of your heel, because that's where the turn will happen, or until you've got however many rows you need for your stitch count. Yeah. We're gonna do them until we have 8 garter ridges on either side of our flap, which is, I've always used that formula and it's always come out perfectly fine.
That's good.
And they fit really well. Some people have like,
I have weird feet.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's feet are different. Everyone's body is different. Don't forget, wrong side row, we're gonna knit 3 and purl across. So maybe you do slip purlwise, because now I slipped knitwise and now the stitches are on here backwards. So I think maybe on the knit slip row you do slip purlwise. So it does make a little difference, because I noticed that my stitches are, the slip stitches are backwards on here and I'm having to twist them the right way.
How would I know if it was backwards?
Oh, okay. So how your stitches sit on the needle is the front leg goes forward. Front leg marches forward. So the leg of the stitch facing you should be forward on the needle.
I'm just gonna keep doing it the way I'm doing it because I can't tell the difference.
Okay, so I'll show you. Okay, so this is regular, right? See how that is? That's regular. And for the folks at home,
I was gonna say we should show our friends.
Let's get this. Let me show yours because it's more of a contrast.
Okay.
Okay. So see, Sari's are like regular here. If it was twisted.
But I slipped all my knitwise.
But you already knitted them. So now they will be facing the wrong way. So if it's facing the wrong way, it's gonna look like that. See where the back leg is in front?
Oh.
As opposed to the front leg is in front?
Oh, I see what you mean by in front.
Right, so this is
closer to the edge of the needle.
Yeah. Okay, so like this is, oh good lord, this is the wrong way. It's like twisted, which is really hard to get this thing to focus. But sort of like that.
Can I leave it twisted?
It will just continue to twist and it'll make the knitting fabric tighter. And
given how tight I knit, that's probably not good.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just depends. Some people like twisted stitches on purpose because it can be decorative. It can be a decorative element and all of your stitches will be twisted and they'll look awkward.
I feel like I probably did that when I first started knitting because I didn't know what I was doing and didn't have anybody to tell me I was doing it wrong.
Yeah, and it happens by accident. Also, if you're doing continental and you're picking up the stitch the wrong way or the yarn gets wrapped the wrong way, it results in a twisted stitch. Which is, it's a weird little fiddly thing. I can see
my nice little garter ridge.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So, okay, so then now, because see, I have 2 on one side and 1 on the other.
Seamsies.
Ah, yay, we're doing it good. Yay, winning. Okay, so now we're on the right side again, and we are going to purl 3. And I know, usually it is my habit when knitting flat to slip the first stitch of every row. Making heel flaps is the only time I do an exception to that rule, and I actually knit or purl the first stitch of the row.
I was about to slip my stitch and then you finished your sentence.
Right, well, because if you don't slip it, it makes these nice bumps on the edge, which are very easy to pick up later. And that's what you want. That's why we're doing it this way, so we get those nice little bumps to pick up.
So when I'm slipping it purlwise, do I need to slip it with the yarn in front?
You can leave the yarn in the back.
Okay, cool.
And then you just slip the stitch from one needle, just slide it over to the other one.
I've been doing a lot of German short rows lately, and you have to slip it with your yarn in front for that.
Yes, correct. And also if you're doing brioche knitting, you slip the yarn in front.
Yes.
So then we knit, slip, and we're slipping as if to purl. So that's just easy. From one needle, slip it over to the other. And then the last 3 stitches we're gonna knit. Excuse me, we're still doing wrong side, knit 3, purl across entire row, right side, purl 3, knit 1, slip 1, purlwise. To the last 3 stitches, knit 3. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, yeah, we should show the peoples. So there's Sari's. So, and you see these are the ridges. This is this eye of pigeon business. I don't know why they call it eye of pigeon, but that's what I think that's what it's called. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ridges on one side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ridges on the other.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
Okay, so you keep on going and I'll explain the next part. So we've got, so when you're done, your flap will look something like this.
Try not to stop you with my DP.
See, I've got ridges on either side. So when I'm counting to 8, here, I'll take and move this camera around so you can see. Okay, so here we go. So this is how my heel flap looks with 16 stitches on a heel flap. If you have done 32 or some other larger number, of course yours will be wider and there will be more of these slipped stitch ridges here. This is the eye of pigeon. And you can see it's very stretchy, and it gives it extra smush on the back of your heel where your heel meets the back of your shoe. When we refer to garter stitch ridges, we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 on this side. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on this side. Now I knitted and purled the first stitch of every row instead of slipping, so I have these nice bumps for ease of picking up stitches when it's time to pick up for the gusset. So then now we're going to do the turning part of our heel flap and turn. So for turning the heel, we're going to begin on the wrong side, so that's this side. And you're going to pick up your elbow a second. So that's okay. And then we're going to slip 1. So I have 16 stitches. So you're going to slip 1 and then purl half of your number. So slip 1, purl 8. So, and I know we had a small discussion about slipping knitwise or purlwise, but generally in knitting, when they say just slip 1, it's usually slip purlwise unless specified.
Yeah. So
slip 1 purlwise. And then I'm going to purl 8. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here's 8. And now I'm going to purl 2 together. Purl these 2 together, and then I'm going to purl 1, and then I'm going to turn. So we just turn the work. So it's like, you know, we're doing short rows to make the little cup that is the heel turn. It's magical. It's very magical. So now on this row we're going to slip 1, and then I'm going to knit 3. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna slip, SSK, slip, slip, knit.
I saw a really cool pattern for a color work scarf that, like, the patterns were all different knitting terminology.
Oh, cool. So for your SSK, it's slip 2 stitches as if to knit, and then you insert your left-hand needle into the front of those 2 stitches, and then we knit the 2 together as if they are 1, and then we're going to knit 1, and then we're going to turn. And now this and all subsequent wrong side rows, we're going to slip one, and now we're going to purl to 1 stitch before the gap. This is the gap. See this gap? So we're going to purl to 1 stitch before the gap. So purl to this.
Wrong side makes me think of the Far Side.
I like the far side.
We always had Far Side comics on our fridge.
Cow tools. Here we go.
The whatchamacallit School for the Gifted, where the kid is trying to push the pull door.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then we're going to, so when we get to 1 stitch before the gap, we're going to purl that stitch together with a stitch after the gap. So there, close the gap. Then we're going to purl 1, and then we're going to turn. And now we're going to slip 1, and we're going to knit to 1 stitch before the gap.
And I'm going to drop a needle.
Sari's going to drop her needle. Okay, and now we're going to slip, slip, knit. So slip 1 as if to knit, 2 as if to knit. Insert our left needle into the front of those 2 stitches. Knit those 2 together. We're going to slip 1, and then we turn. And then we're going to slip 1, purl to 1 stitch before the gap. And we're going to repeat these 2 rows until we have sucked up all of the stitches on either side of our heel. See, so here's purl the 1 before the gap together with the 1 after the gap. Purl those 2 together. Purl 1. Boom, done. See, look, this is the last row I have to do on that side. Turn this, and I'm going to slip 1, and then I'm going to knit over until I have 1 before the gap. And then I think after this, then I'll show how to pick up along the side for our gusset. So here we go.
Maybe I'll finish my heel flip.
Yeah, great. And so that would be great.
2, 3, 4.
So it's slip 1, slip
I think
2.
I have 1 more set to do.
Perfect. Then we're going to insert needle into the front of those stitches. Whoops. Knit those 2 together, and then knit the last one, and huzzah! And then look, it has like a little tiny heel. Look.
I'm just laughing at how we're at vastly different points.
Look how cute it is. Look, see, look how cute it is.
It's
Just a
adorable.
little curve.
Especially with that little bit of yellow.
Yeah, so just teeny tiny heel turn. Okay, so then now, this is the part where folks get confused, is picking up stitches along the edge here.
You want to wait until I'm there?
Yeah, so we'll pause.